What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you are sitting down. It is Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, and we are here for a bit of an emergency sort of conversation. You can watch this conversation, obviously, on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel, or you can listen to it in an emergency episode on the Blog on the Boys podcast network. I say emergency, that is appropriate, but it is also a little bit weird. It's kind of a strange situation in that sense. Let's go ahead and get to it. If you were looking to have a normal Saturday, the Dallas Cowboys just cannot let that happen. A report emerged on Saturday morning / around lunchtime from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport saying, and I quote, "End of an era," reads Ian's tweet. "Cowboys All-Pro and Pro Bowl left tackle Tyron Smith will be a free agent," we knew that, "and is unlikely to return to Dallas," sources say. The blindside protector since 2011, that obviously discounts the time you played at right tackle as of late, whatever. Smith will be highly coveted. Holy crap. Tyron Smith likely going to leave the Dallas Cowboys in free agency. I know that there are a lot of people who have said over the past few seasons that it'd be best for the Cowboys to let Tyron walk. I've definitely entertained that conversation at times myself, but Tyron really kind of proved that last season he could stay healthy, and the Cowboys obviously had an interesting plan for him that worked and that allowed him to play a lot of football, obviously, for them. And they finally got to play with the offensive line that they envisioned when they drafted Tyler Smith in the first round, now 2 years ago, back in the 2022 NFL draft. And when you think about this season, the 2024 season, that is, for the Dallas Cowboys, we think about all the pressure that is surrounding the team, right? There is the contract year status for Mike McCarthy. We found out this past week, thanks to Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, that Mike Zimmer signed a one-year deal with the Cowboys. All the chips are kind of put in 2024 for the Cowboys in that respect. At this moment in time, it's 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Dak Prescott set to enter the final year of his contract. We don't know if an extension is going to happen. CeeDee Lamb currently set to enter the final year of his contract. We presume an extension will happen, but like Dak Prescott, we simply do not know. At the moment, in a technical sense, Micah Parsons is set to enter the final year of his rookie contract, although the Cowboys will obviously pick up his fifth-year option and will, in all likelihood, offer him an extension as well. But again, we do not know whether that will happen. Beyond all of that, we kind of started this offseason. It was about a month ago now. It was January 30th when Jerry Jones was at the Senior Bowl and said that they were going to go all in this offseason. Well, nothing about what the Dallas Cowboys have been doing here suggests that they are all in. And I go back to the lack of seriousness they had in terms of defensive coordinator candidates, the people who they interviewed, Ron Rivera, the fact that they were connected to Rex Ryan. They obviously went with Mike Zimmer, and I've come around on that myself, but I remain steadfast in that the process of how they chose Mike Zimmer was broken and was flawed. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Tyron Smith and how the Dallas Cowboys seemingly are going to be moving on from him, or he's seemingly going to be moving on from them. The decision obviously lies in the hands of one person, whether it's Tyron, whether it's the team, we do not know. But according to the team, at least on Friday, and today is Saturday, they kind of wanted to have him back. Jerry Jones held court from his bus, which he does obviously every year at the NFL Combine. And this is from DallasCowboys.com. If you're watching, obviously, on YouTube, you can see it. This is, I think it was Nick Harris who wrote about this. Let's make sure. It was Nick Harris. Shout out to friend of the show, Nick. So these are Nick's words on the Cowboys and Jerry Jones not ruling out a Tyron Smith return. By the way, to scroll back up here, this was published on March the 1st. Today's March the 2nd at 7:15 p.m. So it's March the 2nd at 11:17 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're talking about it's been what? 16 hours. So this is what it read 16 hours ago. Future Hall of Fame tackle Tyron Smith set to hit free agents this month as Jones met with his representation in Indianapolis and has the door open for a return for 2024 and potentially beyond for his 2011 first-round pick. The quotes from Jerry: "We'll get in there right away and discuss his business and work out something that's good for both of us. He's had a great career. He's a Hall of Fame player. I can't tell you how good a shape I thought we were in with him as we got into the playoffs and his health and where he was. Thought we were just where you want to be, and I gave a lot of credit to Coach Mike McCarthy, him getting it pushed up there to where we had him just right as we went into the playoffs." I do agree with Jerry that Mike McCarthy deserves a lot of credit for this. We've seen that actually player health, player wellness has improved a lot under Mike McCarthy. He obviously prioritizes that, but again, that's neither here nor there in terms of this discussion. This is not great for a team that is supposed to be competing and challenging in this upcoming season specifically. There are pros. There are really not pros, actually. There are merits. There are points of legitimate consideration towards moving on from Tyron Smith. The fact that he is and has been so unreliable this most recent season, 2023, was certainly an exception in that regard. However, if you are banking on having serious success in 2024, it is so difficult to find an apt replacement for Tyron in the here and now that you would think you would want to devote the assets required to do that, namely the 24th overall pick, somewhere else. Once again, in the name of going all in, which has been the money line, obviously, for a month now. And it doesn't seem like that is going to happen. Now, for what it's worth, this could be a Tyron thing. This could be Tyron saying, you know what? The money's not right. The opportunity's not right. The situation isn't right. I want to go win a Super Bowl. I want to make sure that I accomplish that before my career is done. He's a Hall of Fame player. Obviously, we all agree with Jerry Jones in that respect as well. But tell me, if you're Tyron Smith, it wouldn't be totally worth going to play for the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers or whoever else. The 49ers is a bad example, but you get my point. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth chasing a ring right now if you're Tyron and getting the cherry on top of what has been a Hall of Fame career. He is the modern day version of DeMarcus Ware in that respect. The Cowboys moved on from D Ware for salary cap reasons, and he found a home in Denver, and he played a couple of seasons, but he did wind up getting a Super Bowl ring that obviously now works alongside his bust in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which could be the case for Tyron as well. In terms of solutions, in terms of what might happen in the aftermath of all this for the Cowboys, it remains to be seen if they want to kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle. Obviously, Tyler played left tackle, for most of his rookie season, and that I joked about it, but led to Tyron playing right tackle down the stretch of that season, that 2022 season. And so the Cowboys have two options in a general sense. They could kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle and find a new option at left guard, or they could decide, you know what, we really think that Tyler could be an incredible left guard option. We want to find somebody else to play left tackle, whether that's somebody in free agency ourselves, somebody that isn't Tyron Smith, a draft pick. We want to trust a rookie at left tackle. Once again, not necessarily lining up with the all-in proposition. Something I wrote about and have been writing about for the last couple of weeks now in Daniel Jeremiah's, I don't think latest mock draft, but maybe two mock drafts ago, Daniel Jeremiah had the Cowboys, I think it was Tyler Guyton. I know we did a video about this here on the channel as well. And he mentioned that, Guyton could be an option for the Cowboys at right tackle. Mel Kiper's mock draft had the Cowboys taking a tackle and mentioned that there could be competition at right tackle. And we talked about here in our video and in the article that I wrote about at our site, how maybe the Cowboys were setting up a potential competition at right tackle because maybe they were considering a world where Terrence Steele would play left guard. They did talk about that last year. So maybe the future offensive line left to right looks something like Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele, whoever decides, or the team decides a center, if it's Tyler Biadasz or Brock Hoffman, whatever, Zach Martin at right guard, and then maybe some sort of rookie. Again, there's a lot of amalgamations we can come up with right now, especially not knowing how the Cowboys exactly are going to use the 24th overall pick. But now I think it's incredibly obvious that they're going to have to do something in order to replace Tyron Smith. If he's not on this team, they have to, that becomes one of the most pressing, if not the most pressing situation and need relative to the overall roster. There are other needs in terms of, franchise decisions like extending Dak Prescott, extending CeeDee Lamb, extending Micah Parsons. But at the very least, that those players are on your team for this coming season. Now this is DEFCON 1 level priority for the Dallas Cowboys, finding an option at left tackle. And again, that might be Tyler Smith, but then finding an option for the domino effect that all creates. This is a bit of a stunner. Again, even though Tyron has not played a lot over the last few seasons, if you are going to go all in, you really have to, I think in my mind, you have to bring Tyron Smith back. If you're taking this season seriously, the way that we were told the Cowboys were going to be doing that, then you have to make it an absolute top priority to bring Tyron Smith back. And while I understand that we're freaking out right now, the Cowboys could still bring Tyron back, right? I mean, free agency doesn't technically begin now for 11 days, the legal tampering period, although opens in 9 days. So we could be 9 days from Tyron Smith agreeing to terms with a different team. But this is all related to the all-in line that Jerry Jones offered at the Senior Bowl. And he did address this when he was on the bus. We were going to do a video about this whole idea to let you know how the sausage gets made, but then this thing happened. So here's Jerry talking about, this is Nick's article once again from the mothership. Jones made headlines at the Senior Bowl 1 month ago when he said the Cowboys would be going all in this next season and not plan for the future as they have done in the past. When asked for more clarification on what that approach looks like this offseason, Jones said it will be making the team look a bit different than in years past. Here's Jerry's quote, and it's a big word salad, I warn you, and I'm going to do my best to read it appropriately. But anyway, we will be working on different players and drafting different people. Jones said, just the very nature of it is different people. We have different coaches. I think the attention that our nuances of where we are with the cap, the nuances of where we are with our position in the draft, the nuances of where we are with our free agents, we get that involved with the definition of being all in. When you look at those aspects, we will be looking at every solution towards winning this year. That is a whole lot of words to say, hey, I said that because I sensed that you all needed a bone and I threw it to you, and I just prolonged the consequences of it all until now, and I'm just going to sweep it under the rug, and I don't really care about anything, and y'all can deal with it yourselves. Oh, by the way, Tyron's not coming back. When you use the word nuances 3 times in that condensed amount of space, it's just you trying to throw people off the scent. And I have breaking news for Jerry Jones. We are not that dumb. Nobody is that dumb. Nobody is falling for it. You said what you did to, get people hyped up and to keep hope alive, because at that moment in time, the playoff loss of the Packers was just 2 weeks old. And there were obviously a lot of us serving as sharks in the water. And look, I will give the Cowboys a lot of credit for being able to sense when their fan base is upset, but they did this. They were the ones who said, Jerry was the one who said, we're going to go all in. He specifically said it would be different. It would not be, with an eye towards the future, blah, blah, blah. And now he and Steven have walked that all the way back, and they're blaming us for our misinterpretation of it all. We will not stand for that. We are much smarter than that. You are much smarter than that. You deserve better than that. And the prize you get right now, the prize we all get, is Tyron Smith leaving for somewhere else in free agency, which is going to suck a lot. And if you're mad at Tyron, by the way, I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan. I don't think that that's the right way to go about this. But if you are curious for my opinion, dude, Tyron has earned whatever he wants to do at this point in time. He has been an incredible football player for the Dallas Cowboys for 13 years. I mean, he has been an incredible bargain for the Dallas Cowboys. His contract served as the initial kick the can down the road sort of thing. He has been a wonderful ambassador for the Dallas Cowboys. I have no ill will towards Tyron. I don't blame him for having, the desire, if this is ultimately what it has come down to wanting to win a Super Bowl, to add to what is, once again, an objectively Hall of Fame, sort of status of a career. And so, good for you, Tyron. Do what you want to do. Chase your personal happiness. If you play the Cowboys, we'll root against you, but we will always have your back nonetheless. This sucks a lot, and I'm bummed out, and I think you are as well. Tyron Smith likely to leave the Dallas Cowboys in free agency. My name is RJ Ochoa. If you like what I do, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing here to the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. Those things help us out a lot. Or if you're listening to the podcast network, subscribe there. We're available on all major podcast platforms, Apple devices, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, etc., etc. Also, you can leave a comment down below in the YouTube feed, and I'll do my best to get to those as well. How do you feel about Tyron Smith leaving the Dallas Cowboys? Do you share my sentiments? Do you disagree with me? We also have an article that the incredible Brandon Laurie wrote about this subject at blogontheboys.com as well, if you want to go chime in over there. For now, I hope you find a way to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Maybe you're a Red Bull fan. Max Verstappen did the damn thing again, because it's just inevitable at this point in time. So thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.